Well, hello there, gang. Hey. Welcome to the 30, of course. Glad that you decided to join me on today's show. This is the 30 where we focus on bringing you information that will help you to improve your personal, professional, and spiritual lives. On last week, I discussed part two of the leadership lessons I've learned over the last 6 months. And on this episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. Actually, we are going to expand. We are growing internationally, folks. And I've invited a guest to chat with me. We're going to grow. We're going to go across the pond. That's in London, England. This is the 30, and I am your host, Patrick. Make sure that you like and share this broadcast. If you are wondering about productivity, if you're wondering how can I become better to improve and get to the place that I want to go, you are in the right place. Make sure that you like and share this broadcast. If you're watching us from YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So this is a 30. I'll be right back with our featured guests. Hi, gang. Thank you again for joining me on the 30. We are going, as I said, going across the pond, London, England, and we're going to be talking about productivity. How do we master this thing called productivity? And I've invited a productivity expert, someone that coaches and help others. She's a coaching productivity specialists who help individuals achieve their goals by helping them to improve their productivity, develop their skills, and increase their confidence. She's also a podcast host, author, a Notion enthusiast. I don't know what that is in terms of Notion. I think I Googled it, but we're going to get into more about what it is and how she uses it. She's also a Canva queen, none other than DK Jonah. DK, welcome to the 30. Your mic is, there we go. Let me help you there.
Thank you so much for having me here. I muted myself earlier, but I'm so excited to be part of the 30. Thank you, Patrick, for having me.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Tell our guests where you are and what time it is there.
So it's I'm in London. So when you said across the pond, I just smiled. I'm in London and it's 12:35 a.m.
12:35 a.m.
So it's
Listeners,
Friday
viewers,
already for me.
exactly. It's 12:35 a.m. So for her to stay up and be a guest on the 30, I want to thank you so very much. You are Friday. So what's happening on Friday so that when we get there, we'll know?
Friday hasn't changed.
It
Just
hasn't
be going to
changed.
smell coffee when you wake up if you make it.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, Friday is looking exciting.
It's looking exciting.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. So tell our viewers and listeners what you do. I gave them a brief description
Okay.
of your bio, but
Mm-hmm.
let's take it a little deeper. Tell us what exactly that you do and how long have you been doing this?
Okay, so I am DK Jonah. I'm a productivity coach. So what I do is simple. I help people remove the clutter from their lives and find easier ways to get things done. So there's a misconception that productivity is about doing more, but what I do is I coach people to do less without burning out because most people are burnt out. I'm also a podcast coach, a brand strategist. I train social media managers and entrepreneurs on how to create visibility for their brands. And I call it create time to create content because content is amazing. Content is everywhere. So what I say is I simplify the content creation process by teaching you how to do it yourself. So that's a little bit what about me. I talked about Notion. Notion is one of my favorite tools, but I am the Canva queen. I make Canva so simple for people so they can create content, and I call myself an accidental designer. I've authored two books on productivity and content creation. Do It Yourself Branding, which is a workbook for people to help them create that brand identity that could give you the reach and the depth that you need. And the other one is No Gragra, which simply means do it gently and it's about doing things at your own pace. I think that's a little bit about me. My podcast is on productivity and content creation. So, yes, that is it.
You certainly do a lot. Jeez. And I thought that I was bad, but you certainly do quite a bit there.
I
Um,
found a way to make it work.
okay, well, after all, you're the productivity specialist, so you
Yes.
should know how to make it work.
Well, it took time, but we got there.
There we go. There we go. So let's talk about how long have you been doing this, and then the second follow up question to that: who is your target audience?
Okay, so I've been doing this on and off for since 2012, thereabouts. So I called it accidental. So I just used to help people. I'm good at organizing. My parents would say when I'm getting ready for work, I have everything ready down to my change for lunch and every single thing. So I don't need to barter for change and I can move quickly. I also have done brand strategy from 2016, and I was hosting a radio show in 2016 actually, where I focused on productivity and Christianity and how to get things done as a Christian. I hosted blogging workshops from 2014 for a Bible study that I was hosting. So I hosted a Bible study for a couple of years. So all in, I will say as an hobby since 2012, but directly I've been doing this since 2016. Yes.
Okay, so 2016, and what have you found that has changed? Well, a lot has changed since
Yes.
then. What
Yes.
specifically are those things that might have changed?
Emphasis on hustle. Now, hustle culture was the trend. Everybody wanted to also add and do so much. So we felt that productivity was about doing more. So you're always busy. You have a long to-do list. You have so many things that you're trying to accomplish while you're not even accomplishing any. So one thing that has changed for me and in the productivity system is hustle culture that is placing emphasis on always being busy and not taking breaks, starting slow, slowing down, and working for the person you are, not the person you wish you are, which is quite important. Patrick, if you know that there are certain people that wish they were very organized, wish they were the best at what they do, and they actually haven't gotten there yet. So they wish they could wake up early and they are early birds. and they believe that if they add this routine, it will work for them, but it's working against them.
Mm.
So what I do with productivity is work based on your strengths, not necessarily your weaknesses, so you can get the best results.
Now, in our earlier conversation or pre-conversation, you
Sure.
mentioned, and you just mentioned it again, productivity, but you also said creativity.
Yes.
So, how does one work with the other, or do they work with each other, or are they
Create
opposite from each other?
they appear to be on the surface because most creatives don't want to be told to do things in certain ways. What helps people is structure, whether you're a productive creative or not. Having a structure works. But for most creatives, they want to be free. They just want the ability to do it as they please. They don't want to be stuck in a certain pattern. But in order to grow, in order to thrive, especially in the knowledge economy that we're going into, then you need structure, and that's what productivity is about. Now, creativity and productivity, there's a clash, and this clash makes it almost impossible for both of them to thrive together. However, with structure, they can both thrive together because sometimes when you have the structure, you're actually more productive, you get better results, and it gives you an ability to develop competence in other areas rather than be stuck on only one gift. Because most people don't see themselves as creatives. They see creatives as the ones that are in Hollywood, people that are big, but they don't realize that there are little things that they do daily that show their creative style or their creative side rather. So I never saw myself as a creative. I thought creativity was just about having a wonderful voice that you can sing with or being able to draw or act. But then I started reframing the way I see myself, and I realized that although I had ADHD, I was quite creative, and if I gave myself structure, I'll be more productive and produce better results. So I'm able to show my gifts to others, I'm able to share my talents with others, and I'm able to create, not necessarily about creating more, but creating my best work. So that's how I see both of them working together, because when they work together, you avoid burnouts. And burnouts are real in this world.
Mhm.
Everyone is always busy. If you follow trends on social media, if you follow certain pages, they give you this lifestyle that you think, oh, entrepreneurship is so simple. Because you asked me earlier who my target audience were. I call my target audience DIY entrepreneurs or DIY creatives. These are creatives that do things themselves. They may not have a large team, but they will have a full-time job. But they have this gift that they want to share with the world, but they just don't know how to share it. They want to tell their stories on their own terms. But they are introverts like me. So I work with introverts because introverts struggle to express themselves in an extroverted world. We believe, or I used to believe, and most introverts I've had conversations with believe that, oh, I need to be loud to be heard. But what I preach is that you don't need to be loud to be heard. Your voice is unique, your voice is creative. You just need to find a creative way of showing your voice and showing the world who you are and what you can do. But it all starts with structure. So if you ask me what mastering productivity is about, it's about creating a structure that works for you based on who you are today, not who you wish you were.
Mm. Now that's good. That's good. So you're focused on today and tomorrow, not yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now the word structure. How
Yes.
how do you define that for someone that may want to have a greater understanding, um, to be more productive? How do you, in your world as a productivity specialist, how do you define that word? And is it hard to master?
No, it's not hard to master. So, structure is just building a system for yourself. Now, when it comes to setting goals, most people are fantastic about it. They are great at setting goals, they're great at starting, but they are not good at completing what they've started. So, you see yourself starting so many projects. I call you a chronic starter or a chronic procrastinator. You're saying, I will continue tomorrow, but you never do. I always say, later is not in a dictionary. Now, structure is having a system, what I call a personal productivity system that works for you. So, a simple structure is waking up and getting out of bed and doing something. So, it could be different things for different people. There are different things that you could do. one thing I recommend is journaling or writing or free writing when you wake up. That is structure because you know exactly what you're doing when you wake up in the morning. You're not thinking about it. Then you have your afternoon routine and you have your evening routine. Then your evening routine is about reflecting on what you did in the day. So you say, okay, what was I supposed to do today? Did I do it? If I did not do it, what happened? If I did it, oh, what were the lessons I learned? What changes am I making? And then you're planning for the next day, the night before. That's having a daily structure. Then I have a weekly structure that I always recommend, which is on Fridays, you reflect on the week and see what happened. So you can see areas that you want to make changes. And if you have to make changes and make some and learn something over the weekend that your boss asked you about that you may have forgotten, you are able to plan it in your weekend. Then Sunday nights you plan for the week. So most times the reason we don't um complete our goals is you don't remember to sit down and reflect. I always say this. Structure is about pausing, not stopping. Most people, when they're going on a track, they don't pause. They stop and then they move to the next track, while they should have stayed on one track and completed that project or that thing they're working on. So structure is having a system that works for you, that has something you do daily, weekly, monthly, and these things are things that you will do no matter what. So most people have structure as a list. So I have my to-do list. I'm sure you have a list of what you want.
Yes.
Everyone says work with a to-do list, and I say work with different types of lists. There is a master list that has every single thing that you're supposed to do. So monthly you have that master list and you keep adding to that master list. From that master list you can create a to-do list, a must-do list, and a could-do list. So daily you're like, okay, these are the things that I must do, these are the things that I could do, and these are the things that I should do. So you know that, okay, you will give priority to all these things on your list. My most important structure, especially for those that work for themselves, is understanding that not all tasks require the same attention, the same time to complete, or the same structure. So I say my tasks are midi task. These are medium tasks that don't really require so much attention, but you could need like 20 minutes to complete. So if you're looking at your day, you will just have two of that. Then you have your mini tasks. These are things like maybe just logging into your Twitter to see if there are messages. There are things that you don't really have to think about. That's you putting a structure to your day. So rather than having a long list, you have your 1, 2, 3 list, which is one major task or one maximum attention task daily, three minimum attention tasks daily, and two medium attention tasks daily. So the one maximum attention task, because there are sometimes that will put so much on our list that we cannot complete. It's impossible for you to do it and do it well. So, for example, you're recording today, that will be a maximum attention. You know that there can be no distractions. You're not doing any other thing while you're doing this task. You're practicing what I call the power of one. Be like a stamp. Stick to one thing till you get to the destination. Most of us want to multitask, especially we women. We say, oh, I'm great at multitasking. I said, when it comes to things that matter, don't multitask. I'll recommend you monotask instead. Focus on just that one task and complete it. So just these little things that you make changes to, they may seem like a lot, but when you look at them on the surface and you write them down, it seems like, oh, this is quite a lot of things that I have to do. But when you start applying one daily, you realize that it becomes part and parcel of you. It becomes from an habit to a routine to a ritual, because there are three different things. Habits are just, oh, things that you want to start doing. You have to put cues there. Routines too require cues, but rituals, sometimes you don't, no one needs to tell you to brush your teeth in the morning. It has become part and parcel of who you are. So you want to create things like that for yourself, and you can do it your own way. So this is the way I have worked, that what works for me, because I realized that sometimes I need to read up a contract or do something important, and then because I have put my own to-do list completely filled with other activities, I am not able to pay attention to my maximum attention task. Another thing I do is I don't check my emails in the morning. I do not. Because when you check your emails in the morning, you are completing what's on another person's to-do list. So you have someone sends you an email that's on their to-do list. Your response is on their to-do list, but it's not on yours. So what I do is this instead. Um I don't check my emails in the morning. I check my emails at a certain time, and I tell people if it's urgent, you know what to do. Call me directly. So my clients know that okay, your emergency is not my emergency. So
Mm-hmm.
mastering productivity is about mastering you. It's about putting yourself first, especially if you don't have a 9 to 5. It's about self leadership. You talk about leadership. So let's talk about that. Sometimes we want to lead others, but we've not led ourselves. So it's about understanding that leading yourself is about understanding time, is about respecting time, not just yours, but the time of those that you need their attention, the time of those that you are going to work with. So if I want to work with you on a project, I'm not just going to come on your own to do on my put you on my to-do list and make sure you must do this today. I'm going to have a conversation with you and respect the time you have and book it out on my calendar. So it's about putting structure to every single thing that you do, because one wonderful thing you did for the 30 is you had a Calendly link. That's
Mm-hmm.
structure.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than going back and forth and say, does this work? Does this work? No, there's a Zoom link again, and the Zoom link sends a reminder. That's you putting structure also. So structure is not until you build something like a building. It's just putting practices around you that can be replicated, so you don't have to repeat certain things over and over again. Because once these things become part and parcel, and they become part and parcel of your show, you don't have to start creating the backdrops every day. You don't have to start writing certain things about the comments. You've already put a structure around your show that is working for you. So to me, it's about understanding that there are just these little things that you have to do that make everything work together for you.
All right. Good. 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 That's a lot.
I know we've got just 30 minutes. My eyes are on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. We have about 6
Eight.
minutes left here.
Yes.
So let's talk now about you. You give me the 3 R's.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to those 3 R's. You said routine,
Yes.
and what was the second
Ritual,
one?
rituals.
Routine, rethrows.
Yes. And then the last one was habits. So it wasn't an R. So
Okay.
yes.
So routine, rethrows, and habits. Love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you dropped some nuggets there. I was waiting to jump in and says, hey, can I have those three things again? I love what you said about also reviewing, taking Friday to review what you did for that week. That's a great strategy and a process that you use. So, and it's also a discipline, right? So you
Yes.
take Friday and you
Mm-hmm.
review everything that you did, and
Yeah.
if you miss something, then you can pivot, edit, or redo the next week.
Yes. Fantastic. Because most people wait till Sunday to just plan for the new week. But if
Mm-hmm.
you say, okay, I'm putting 2 days on my calendar, one day is for reviewing, the other day is for planning. So you're doing the power of one, you're focusing on just one thing. So it could be 15, 20, 30 minutes. But if you be doing your daily reflections, it's going to be a lot easier. If you've not, because you were overwhelmed, that's also fine. So Friday evening, you do it. And it's about self discipline, like you've
Yeah.
talked about it. So I always like putting self when I come to talk about all these things, because it's about you.
Mm-hmm.
You understanding that it's about you. You need to do it for yourself, not any other person. So sometimes you're part of an accountability group and they can hold you accountable, because I work as an accountability coach and I meet with my clients like weekly. So depending on what they want and how they work, I could send them SMS reminders and things like that. But I always tell them it's about you mastering it yourself and things like that.
Okay. Good. 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 Uh, someone you got someone that is writing for you. So if you are LinkedIn, it says LinkedIn user. What happens is if you don't give StreamYard permission, right, then you'll come up as LinkedIn user. So we don't know who you are. So you need to give StreamYard permission to have your name so that your name can show up. So, LinkedIn user, thank you so much. You can just drop your name in the chat again, so we'll give you your plugs. Let's see. Now, how did you learn all of these things?
Okay, so I have an invisible illness and I had to learn how to control my calendar myself
Hmm.
because doctor's appointments, your doctors are giving information. You have to take this information back to your doctors. You're missing medical appointments. You're mixing things up. And the truth is, no one can take care of you like you. So I had to understand and master it. So it's something I like 90% of my books are on productivity.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did a lot of reading also to find out how I can create a way and learn how to manage my time properly because I know I have what my friend calls limited energy because I've got
Mhm.
chronic fatigue syndrome. So I know I have to manage my energy. I can't do as much as others, but we all have 24 hours or 168 hours. But because I know that I have to pace myself, I have to learn how to pace myself. And then others started asking, can you do this? Can you teach me? And that's how it started.
That's fantastic. That is great. And I love. There's so many things to take away from this interview. I thank you so very much because
You're welcome.
you're not allowing your illnesses to be an excuse for
Thank
your success,
thank
right?
you.
You
Yes.
you you learn from it and you learn how to manage it. So
Yes.
that's a key takeaway too, because so many people will use anything as an excuse not to succeed, right?
Hmm.
Things that will hold them back. So I love that. So kudos to you. Let me give a shout out here to Brian Howard. Thank you, Brian. Greatly
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Darren.
If you have a question, we have a couple of minutes left, but if you have a question or comment, go ahead and drop that in the chat so that DK can at least answer you, or if you just want to say hi to her, give her a shout out, you're more than welcome to do that too. DK, in the last couple of minutes that we have here, if
Sure.
someone wants to get a hold of you to work with you, because, well, let me step back. Um, I know in your bio you say that you work with professionals, you also work with leaders, you work with social media managers. Is there any other target market that you work with that you'd like to add?
I said I work with entrepreneurs a lot.
Entrepreneurs, okay.
Yes, I work with entrepreneurs a lot. I say solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, yes.
Okay, great. So how does someone, if someone wants to work with you, how do they get a hold of you?
So dkjonah.com, that's my website. Instagram, dkjonah. I love Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. LinkedIn is also dkjonah. So and my TikTok is dkjonah. So I'm dkjonah everywhere. I
So
just made
DK
this
Jonah.
simple.
All
Yes.
right. So DK Jonah, anywhere she's at on all of the socials, you can make sure that you contact her if you want to work with her. That is great. She is so knowledgeable. I'm learning. I was taking notes here as you were talking. Number one, routine. Two, rituals, and three, habits. So routine could turn into a ritual, and which can be now use
No,
that into a habit.
so it's the other way around. The
Okay.
habit, it starts with an habit,
It
then
starts with a habit,
then it becomes the routine,
become a routine,
and then it becomes a ritual, something
a
that you just
ritual.
don't even think about while you're doing it.
Okay. All right. So a habit. So 30 days, right? Doing something just consistently becomes a
Yes,
habit. Then you
yes.
can move into the ritual and then finally a routine.
Becomes a routine. Yes.
Nice. And that's the discipline. That
That's the discipline. I will say give yourself time, be patient, be kind to yourself. When it comes to getting things done, it's about being kind to yourself and listening to your body.
great. Any last words before we go into you didn't know about this one, but we don't let guests get away. We
Oh,
want to personalize them. So there's a rapid fire that's
okay.
coming up. So
All right.
any last words for our viewers and our listeners before we move into um, our rapid fire?
Sure. I will say mastering productivity, it's about you. You understand yourself better than anyone else. Set goals that you want to achieve, not for anybody else. And be kind to yourself in the process. Be patient with yourself. It takes time. When you're doing it, first of all, as an habit, what you're looking for is competence. Just keep doing it, even if you're doing it wrong. You can reflect and create time to reflect, create time to create, and you'll be fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's good. That's good. So we got to have a part two because
Definitely.
this information is just this is great. As you said, we are in the informational age, right? This is great stuff, and I want to make sure that our viewers and listeners will have an opportunity to really dive into it, digest it, and then if they have any questions or comments, they can as you come back on part two. So
Sure.
as we end, here is our rapid fire, and I'm going to ask you
Okay.
4 or 5 questions, and I want you don't think about it. I want you
Fingers
to.
crossed.
I just want you to just answer without thinking about it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I know that you live across the pond, but you're not from England. You are Nigerian, right?
Yes, I'm Nigerian.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So, what is your favorite food?
Suya.
Okay, and what is that?
It's beef, so it's barbecued beef and skewers. So absolutely fantastic. That was, yeah.
Okay, all right. What is your favorite type of music?
I would say gospel.
Okay,
So I love gospel music. I love African gospel, and I love soft rock.
okay, all right. As it relates to gospel, your favorite artist?
Ooh, do I have one? Spotify will tell you Nathaniel Bassey.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's your favorite saying.
Mm. My mom's favorite saying has become mine and is why worry when you can pray.
Oh, that is so great. Wow. Your mom's just became mine. Love that. All right. Lastly, favorite
Okay.
place to vacation.
Oh, I hate traveling. It will stress of vacationing. I am my own body. Any place with a spa
Okay. All right.
and soft activities and stuff like that. So I don't have a favorite yet. We're still looking for the favorite, but I love going to Sofitel hotels. Their spa is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Anytime I'm traveling and I have to stop off at Heathrow for a sleepover, I will use the spa.
Okay.
I look forward to that actually.
So you love spas. All right.
Yes.
Well, DK, I want to thank you again for being here. This was fantastic. You are an awesome guest.
Thank you
We
so
are
much
going to
for
have to
having me.
schedule part 2 as we
Sure.
continue with the topic mastering your productivity. So let's get on the schedule. As far as a process, right? We know that we have Calendly,
Yeah.
so book a date, and then we'll
Sure.
go from that point on. So thank you, and all the best. May God bless you and your family. May God bless
Amen.
your health as
Amen.
you move forward. Okay.
Amen. Thank you so much for having me, Patrick. I had an amazing time.
All right. Thank you again.
Cheers.
So we've been talking to DK Jonah, a fantastic conversation. She is a productivity coach and a specialist. So we're going to bring her back for a part 2. But make sure that you still share and like it. Go back and replay it, and pass it on to others. Share it with others. If you are looking for our YouTube channel, simply look under the Jackman Group LLC. That's the Jackman Group LLC. Like this episode, subscribe to our channel, and let's start to move forward. This has been episode 156. Look forward to seeing you next week, where we will continue with our guests and bring you the information that is relevant to you that will help enhance your personal, professional, and spiritual lives. Until then, may God bless you and your family. We'll see you then. Bye-bye now.